Timm from KFC, a very warm welcome to the Red Zone. Let me suggest to you that times are tough. Consumers have less money to spend. As a marketer in this space, what's the biggest worry that you have right now?
Yeah, I think the biggest worry is disposable income. So consumers are feeling the pinch, businesses are feeling the pinch. Rising electricity costs, fuel. A lot of talk at the moment about food pricing going up a lot. So it's just an enormous battle for limited disposable income in this country. So a big focus on value for everybody.
As a result of that, I assume not only in this country but around the world, our relationship with food and buying food has changed. How has that come to pass?
Yeah, I think the relationship with food is very different depending on who you're talking to, particularly in a brand like ours. I think if in our upper LSMs, the relationship with fast food is a convenience. As you go down into the lower LSMs, the relationship with our food and our brand is a lot more than that. People come to us for indulgence and for a treat and for a special occasion. And I think where it really changes is the value that people come to you for is not just in the food anymore. It's much more than that. They expect a good experience. They expect to be treated with dignity, etc. So, I think the expectations have grown a lot.
Let me mix my metaphors. When it comes to chicken, why does KFC remain the elephant in the room? This astonishing brand loyalty. What drives it?
I think there are a number of things in this market, and least of which is not that it's a fantastic product. It's a craveable product. People love it. But I think there is also heritage. People have grown up with it. They've got memories from their childhood. So they've got an association with the brand that goes back a long way. We have fantastic penetration, and we have built loyalty over a long period of time, and that's hard to buy.
The heritage and the loyalty is one thing, but you've also had to keep the brand fresh and modern. How do you achieve the balance between the past and making sure that you are contemporary?
Yeah, I think that it's one of the perpetual balancing acts that we try to follow.
Keeps you awake at night, I suppose.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's about being contemporary, it's about being relevant, it's about being, in the now. But at the same time, we know from all sorts of experience that heritage plays an enormous role, and a lot of our advertising in the last year or so has tapped into our heritage and tapped into, people's memories of the brand. And you're right. You need to do that in a way that doesn't date your brand.
Yeah, you don't want to
but
create
keeps
too
it
much nostalgia, because that can also be negative.
Correct. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about other factors, though. Store design. Every time I drive past a KFC, there seems to be some sort of construction happening. In fact, not just with KFC, with your competitors as well. Packaging has become crucial. That also feeds into this whole mix, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. We are an industry that's quite interesting because our stores are our brand. We sometimes talk about when you enter the store, you enter the brand, and I think this is an area that's changing very rapidly right now, and it's linked to what I was saying earlier about people's expectations of fast food are changing. So they do expect. They don't expect just to come in and get good food now. They want to have an experience. They want to have a nice environment in which to, maybe hang out with their friends or family. And so it is. It's about change. And it's about keeping modern. It's about keeping contemporary, and making sure that we're providing more than just food.
Dave, part of keeping contemporary and modern is also making sure that people eat healthily. How aware is your brand of this ongoing and perpetual obesity debate, something that you sit in the middle of and you've taken flack for?
Yeah, we are obviously very aware of it, and I think one of the things about 21st century companies is that we do need to be very cognizant of societal needs, and we need to be connected with society, and so there's a lot that we're doing about it. We work very hard at making sure that we're providing healthier options. We believe that choice is very important, and consequently we launched salads and things like that. Sure. I think probably more importantly for us, we also really are trying to get to the cause of it, and I think the cause of obesity, really gets down to the lifestyles that people lead nowadays versus in the past, and we're investing a lot of money right now in our mini cricket program, which is really designed to get kids at a young age living healthy and active lifestyles. So we're very conscious of it, and we're working as hard as we can to make sure that we play our part and we're a responsible citizen.
From a marketing and sales perspective, an empty store is a bad store for you. So one of the challenges globally is extending, I think the jargon in your industry is the day part, making sure that people are there for longer or come in during shoulder time. How have you addressed that challenge?
Yeah, so we've recently launched breakfast in this market, and we launched on a pretty big scale and growing that consistently. It's very important for our franchise business model, and our franchise business model really is what keeps us going. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that we've got a very powerful business model that franchisees want to invest in. And the more that we can sweat the asset, and the more that we can get turnover through the asset and labor utilization, etc., the better returns we can get for our franchisees. That translates into investment in the brand. So, Dayparts is very, very important. And again, it's also about remaining contemporary. So, on the go, people now don't have time to eat breakfast at home, so they are looking for options. So yeah, we are extending day parts. It's not just breakfast. Ultimately, it would make our lives a lot easier if we could get transactions throughout the day rather than in peak periods.
Quick view before we end on the advertising strategy that we've got. Emotion is critical in terms of purveying your brand, but the sense I get, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, is every time I switch on the television, there's a new KFC ad.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're noticing that. Yes, I mean, interestingly, we've actually reduced the number of executions, but we've changed our media mix quite a lot. And again, this is remaining contemporary. So we've channeled many out of television and into other mediums, including digital, etc. But we are one of the big spenders in South Africa. So we work very hard at making sure you notice our advertising. So I'm glad you do. And you're right, emotion in advertising is critical. We know from, work now in the neuro world that, decision making is generally driven by emotion and not reason. And we work very hard to make sure that we tap into emotion in our advertising.
David, Timm from KFC, thank you.
It's a pleasure, thank you.